talking earlier about the exhibit that is down at the Carrabassett Valley Public Library. And Peggy Bishop joins us, a fellow Auburnite. Good morning to you. How are you?
Greg.
You are from Auburn, and you are an artist, a quilt artist. Tell us a little bit about some of your quilt art.
Well, I've sewn ever since I was 6 years old on my grandmother's treadle machine, and then I became a home economist. So I taught home ec for a number of years. And then when we moved up here, I've always wanted to learn how to quilt. And so about 10 years ago, I went to Farmington and I taught with a fellow home ec teacher there. She taught me how to quilt. And I made a number of bed quilts for my family. But I kind of got a little bored with doing all those straight piecing and whatever. So I thought, well, I'd like to do something different. And so I think I saw an exhibit at the quilt show in Augusta, the state quilt show that they have, and they had some art quilts, and I thought, that looks interesting. I think I'll give it a try. So that's how it all started.
And they truly are art. And did you have an artistic flair before? Were you a painter? Were you a sketch? Or is this something that's new?
This is totally new to me.
So you just started creating them.
I've never even taken an art class.
Isn't that something?
I wish I had, but
well, it looks like
I
you
didn't.
should be teaching them. Let's show us some of these wonderful pieces here. Of course, these are not the ones in the library, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
These are some of my early pieces, actually. So this one here is
How many hours is in that?
Oh, Lord. Some of these take about a month to make.
Yeah.
The one I'll show you in a minute, the lobster, that took me over a month.
Wow.
Yeah. This was one of my early ones that I did.
It's beautiful.
And it's mostly all made with fabric that are flowers. These are all cut out individually. And then the trees, that's just white fabric, and then I used Inktense pens to make it look like a birch tree. And then down here I used special glitter type fabrics.
Yep.
And it's made with Angelina fibers, and you take the fibers and you fuse them, and you can create these different designs.
It's beautiful.
So I always thought this would be great in a kid's room, in a kid's bedroom.
With big smiling
Wake up
face.
to the smiley face every morning. It would be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So these are, do you copy these from a picture, or is this just all from your head?
Well, I'm not an artist, and I can't draw for beans, so I do use a lot of patterns.
Yeah.
But I always try to make it my own, even if I'm using a pattern. I change things up.
Sure.
As best I can.
Now this next one here is like, sugarloaf is a great topic for any quilt, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, especially if you live up here.
Yeah.
Which I do. And this was
very nice.
One of the early pieces. And I've made several of these, 2 or 3, and I change up the colors and the backgrounds and do my own thing, in other words.
Now, these are available for sale, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I think after all that work, I'd have a hard time selling them.
Well, there are some at the library that are not for sale, and those are
there to look at.
Yeah,
and
well,
enjoy.
They're for myself, and I've put so much work into them that I can't bear to let them go.
Right.
So,
I can understand.
And I want to save some for my children,
right.
down the road.
Now this one here, that's got
This
just
one
a
here.
lot of parts.
This one here took over a month. It's a big,
That's beautiful.
big one.
Yeah.
So of course, if you live in Maine,
Right.
you got to have a lobster. And so here he is.
And the colors choice is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of my quilts, even if I'm using a pattern, I always choose my own colors and my own fabrics to make it, so try and make it my own.
Now, do you have to hand stitch that?
No, I don't do any hand
No.
stitching.
No.
No, not anymore.
Which
I
is
don't-
good.
Yeah, I don't do hand stitching anymore. And then, of course, if you live up here, you've got to have a moose.
All right. Yeah, I can
And so
put over there.
this moose is supposed to represent the northern lights.
It's beautiful.
So this one here is a combination. The background, you notice, is pieced. So all of these little blocks are pieced. And then the top of it has the outlines of the trees and the moose.
Now, where do you acquire the fabric?
Well, I acquire fabric from everywhere.
Yeah.
I do a lot, living up here, I do a lot of online shopping,
Yeah.
but it's hard to get your fabrics right online.
Yeah.
You know, it arrives and it's not quite the color you thought, whatever.
Yeah.
I also go to Martin's a lot,
Well, there you go.
whenever I can.
Yeah.
And this last one is a little bit different than the others.
Yeah, I'll take this one for you.
This one is called a confetti quilt. And by that I mean it is made up of hundreds and hundreds of tiny little pieces,
Indeed, it is.
which make up the water. And then what you do to hold it all together is you put a layer of tulle on top of that. And then you just do tons of quilting to hold the whole thing all together. The background was painted. I painted it,
Right?
and it's kind of funky.
Yeah. Look, I can see Captain Kip right there.
Right. And this one is a little different than the others. The others have, the ones I showed you previously, have borders, and the finishing is done with a binding. This one here is done with a facing, what we call a facing. And this one is actually done, it's like a pillowcase
Beautiful.
facing.
So, Peggy, what your exhibit is for how long down at the library?
The exhibit is through the end of March and all of April. And just to let you know, there's a wine and cheese reception on April 1st.
April 1st?
From 4:30
And you're
to
not
6.
fooling me.
No, I'm not fooling you.
Yeah, yeah. So you can come down and meet the artist and
You can
check out
meet
some
the artist,
of the works.
and you can meet the artist before me,
Yeah.
Barry White.
Oh, right. Saw his work.
So you can meet both of us.
Yeah.
And you can have a glass of wine
Yeah.
and some little goodies.
And perhaps pick up some amazing artwork for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Peggy, thank you so much for being on this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for sharing all your artwork. I know you don't call it artwork, you call it art quilts, correct?
Yes, that's
we
correct.
got it right. So
That's
art
correct.
quilts, and you can see her exhibit down at the library. Check it out. I encourage you to go there. It's right in the lobby. Go down and check it out at the Carrabassett Valley Public Library, and it's open today.
It is.
All right. Thank you very much, Peggy. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Greg.
it. And we'll take a break.